DJ Mark Lewis here at the 18th Winter Music Conference in Miami. Universal agenda, spreading a message of love through the music, creating unification through dance music.
What's so special about the music conference?
It's the nucleus of like the dance music industry.
It's kind of our Cannes, it's our Sundance. It's really essential. If you're not here, you're not in the business. Deals are struck here, big singles are broken here. And it's so many different things. There's a conference over here, there's a conference over here.
It's an amazing, beautiful thing, and every hotel, every nook and cranny, under every rock and every parking lot, you never know what's going on and what kind of music you're gonna hear, or who you're gonna meet, or who you're gonna get to talk to.
I've been coming down to the Winter Music Conference for, I guess, around 9 years, I think. It's changed, obviously, as much as electronic music's changed, because you can balance working or having meetings with publishers or record companies with the fact that we're on a beach. You know, it's March and it's cold up in Philadelphia where I live, and you know what you guys can't see is that there's naked people all there and thongs and girls gone wild.
It's a great business meeting point and it's a great party meeting point.
There's, what, at least 10 parties every day where you could really bask in electronic music.
Wednesday night we're doing Billboard Live.
Thursday at the Opium Garden.
Soul on the Beach at the Clevelander was particularly good.
Danny Teneglia, Be Yourself.
The Master at Work did at Rain, which was superb. Subliminal was a great part too, and Rain last night was particularly good. We've just been hundreds, been doing 6, 7, maybe 8 a day really. This way, or are we gonna go take the elevator?
No, let's just go.
Ah, fuck it, the hard way.
We just signed a deal with Yoshitoshi, and Ram said, "Do you want to play the Yoshitoshi party?" And that was pretty much it. And I said, "Absolutely."
Confirmation from the event coordinator from Yoshitoshi just called me and said that we were definitely on at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
At the conference, there's so many people and so many parties and so much going on. We actually had a last-minute poolside session where one of the people that was supposed to be playing here at the Thump Radio poolside did not show up because they had another party to play.
We've got tonight at Yoshitoshi, and then after that we're doing the Mixed Elements event at Ibiza, and we're playing. Fuck time we playing? Shit. 2 to 5. So that party's gonna be off the hook. Well, basically I'm looking for this really big, obnoxious bus that's supposed to take us to space. That could very well be it. I don't know.
And here's the bus.
This thing is wicked. You guys are coming on the bus with us.
Yep. Grab a Heineken or a vodka.
Oh, it's Sensei, right? Yeah. That was a good set, man. Thank you. Oh, man. That room sounds dope. That shit was fucking tight.
Where's the exit? On the other side? We gotta go out the other way. It's Dave. We just finished and we're out in space.
Time check is what?
12:15.
What time? Sets at 2.
You going to another club after this?
Yeah, we're playing another party.
We're headlining that Mixed Elements event. You guys are coming. We're doing a big shit.
I gotta catch a flight.
You better fucking change that flight, dude. Yes. Get in. That was fucking madness, dude. I can't.
Sorry.
I actually quite enjoyed the downtime because I can hear now.
Okay, yeah, you guys are set. You want to come with us? You're more than welcome.
When the Winter Music Conference started, you could much easier break a record. You had 10 major parties, and if your record got played at all 10 parties, you mainly broke it. But now, with all those 200 parties going on, it's impossible that all those 200 parties are supporting your record. I also realized that a lot of people come to the conference who are not really involved in the music business. Fans of DJs are coming.
Everybody around is just amazing. There's nothing that compares to over here. No way.
I've been coming for years and I love it, and it's fun and it rocks, and the music's hot, the people are sweaty.
I'm here also because we wanted to check out some of the clubs, the DJs, music.
And I love it because obviously the weather, because New York is frozen right now.
In the last 3 or 4 years that I've come, I just come to have a good time. I don't get any business done. Half the records that I was given in the last couple of days, I'd lost in a drunken stupor somewhere, floating in a swimming pool or wherever.
We love coming here. We love drinking. We love seeing our friends, and we love listening to great music.
Dance Star Awards, which is something that's fairly new to this. This is something that the dance community, or the electronic music community rather, has really been needing.
Dance Star Awards are the biggest dance awards in the community, so they really do mean a lot because they're voted by the public, and that's really what counts.
It's nice that people get, you know, a reward for the hard work they've put in. I think it encourages people, gives people goals, motivation.
It's a big show now. Everyone wants to be here and play. I think it's awesome. It's great for American dance music.
It feels great for me to hook up with cats. I mean, especially like Dirty Vegas. You know, what we had started and just take it on to the next level. And to me, that's like keeping the funk alive, you know, so it's all good.
I understand this is the first year it's being televised, so that's a great step forward. And, you know, anything that comes to Miami that celebrates music and, you know, because this is like a music capital in its own self.
So actually I'm presenting Best Video with Crystal Method, so I'm very excited, and I begged them, can I please be paired up with Crystal Method, and they granted my wish. You guys nominated for anything tonight?
Yeah, Best Remix for Madonna.
I'm up for Best DJ and for Best Party in New York City, my Be Yourself Friday Night Party.
Best album, best single, best DJ.
Best remix, best label, best single.
The winner for the best video is Dirty Vegas. Days Go By.
I wish that, you know, we'll get televised here in America. That's what we need. We need more of these events on TV or cable at least, and more dance stations.
This is the first time that electronic music, people who make underground music, can, you know, really celebrate what they do.
Evolution of music, it's a very interesting question. There are different books, different theories about where it all started, and is it Kraftwerk, is it June Atkins? I think it's like like human beings. I mean, how did it all start?
You definitely have this kind of musical phenomenon where certain things are happening at the same time. Influences, threads of continuity.
My brother turned me on to Kraftwerk in around 1976, and that was really kind of the first track that delved into solely making electronics with music.
Kraftwerk were just innovators, along with Tangerine Dream, along with all those bands. They brought repetitive electronic music, synthesized repetitive electronic music, and brought it to the masses. It was just something that was completely avant-garde and completely different.
The excitement of people, going to a club and you see a DJ mixing in 1976 might be difficult to describe when you had actually never seen somebody mixing. You realize that the guy was doing things with records that you never thought were possible.
Just taking two records and playing them, phasing them, flipping them backwards, editing, putting different parts where they weren't supposed to be, things like that, which we would call like remixing, re-editing on the turntables, where we could literally do, half bar, 1 bar phrases, kind of like what hip hop DJs do. We were doing it back in those days with like disco records and things.
Disco had blossomed into a full-fledged art form that was really incorporating the most sophisticated things, elements from all the jazz and big band and all the other music forms that were based around studio musicianship and recording.
So basically you're talking about a disco, but we're talking like Shaka Khan. She did stuff like Clouds. I mean, you heard that record in the warehouse, everybody just lost their mind. They're climbing the walls, taking their clothes off.
It was a very, very exciting time, and it all culminated with Saturday Night Fever, which introduced the mating rituals of an Italian male in a polyester suit to, I guess, middle America. And they could readily identify with, what this guy was feeling. And it's certainly a great marketing campaign and a huge success and an instant backlash.
There was this whole fallout where, it became, very much out of fashion and had to go back underground. When it went back underground, the creative stakes went up.
House music happened in Chicago around 1983, 84. It was really an outgrowth of all these other forms of dance music that were very successful and popular.
Variety of styles from the R&B, pop, to reggae, to new wave when it came in.
The word house music was actually a term that was coined from when we went to this club called the Warehouse. They play this kind of music. What kind of music is it? And it's like warehouse music. And that turned into house music.
I listened to this music, I was just like, whoa. It was just a totally different thing. So that's when we decided to bring that to the commercial public, because this is a small, obscure club downtown that 99% gay, and nobody really knows about it. And what had happened, you had people like Derek May, Juan Atkins, who come to Chicago all the time, and they were coming to the Warehouse, Playground, Music Box, and whatnot, and that's where their influence from techno came from.
What had happened in Chicago was actually really important, but there were a lot of producers and in New York that started incorporating that style in their productions. And there were a lot of clubs that started nights based around that kind of concept.
You had Limelight, Palladium, USA, the Tunnel, and those are just the big clubs. Then you had tons of the small, amazing venues like Save the Robots and Sheets and Pillows.
The first 12 inches were coming out of Chicago, and at least as far as Baltimore and the East Coast is concerned, it seemed to have originated more in the gay clubs, and that's where we were going to listen to house music. I would go to all gay clubs with my sister. It was the only place that we could hear it.
So I'm going to Danceteria in New York in '83, and there's like 3 floors of music. It's incredible, melting pot of people and from all different types of backgrounds. And in Los Angeles, I had never seen it, and I was like, I've got to go home with some of this music.
During The period where house music started coming out of Chicago, there were some producers that were really grabbing it in New York and really changing it to incorporate more hip-hop sounds. You had people like Todd Terry, who was definitely one of the big originators of house music in New York. Wayne Gardner, the early Strictly Rhythm years, myself then at that point in time getting involved with it, the Masters at Work.
I heard about this guy, Frankie Knuckles. He had a residency at the World at the time. And I heard, oh, gotta go check out Frankie Knuckles. This guy makes $1,000 a night. And at that time, that was big DJ money, you know? And so I went to see Frankie, and nothing's ever been the same.
From that point on, it really crossed the border to the UK, where dance music was already popular music. And that started making the entire house phenomenon grow worldwide.
You had innovators early on out of Chicago and New York influencing music scenes in Britain, in Manchester.
When house music arrived in London, it revolutionised what was going on there. And instead of people fighting at the end of the night, they were hugging each other at the end of the night. It was phenomenal.
The American stuff that was coming over, it's just like a whole changing thing. And guys that picked up on that early back home, I remember it was like Paul Oakenfold and Pete Tong and Danny Rampling.
Before you knew it, producers in London and all over England were making records. We made our first record, which ended up in the top 5 in 1988. It was unprecedented. It was like, wow, this is amazing. People are digging dance music. It's great.
You've got records that would be started in a very small underground studio somewhere in Chicago, Detroit, or New York, becoming massive hits in the UK, and then crossing the European boundaries. DJs started to travel all over the world. Sometime during the 80s, Ibiza became an island that started developing this kind of oasis for DJs.
Today, people calls me from all over the world. Can you find me that track? There's just people just getting into it.
As long as you were there for the music, especially back in the day, you were there. And that's what really excited me about the whole thing. These people wanted to hear music, good music, underground music. When I first started off liking records, I had a great love for R&B, great love for hip hop, Bootsy Collins, Funkadelic.
In junior high, dance remixes like Madonna remixes and like electro, like early breakdancing music.
I was really into like the industrial stuff. I've always been into disco and Motown.
I didn't really come from the whole disco scene. You know, I like new wave, industrial, alternative rock, hip hop, dub reggae.
My first introduction to music was from my father. He encouraged me to play as many musical instruments as I could possibly get my hands on. And my mother encouraged me to get into singing. So I was singing for like gospel stuff as a little kid. And that's really what I like the best. So I kind of stuck with that, and DJing actually helped me use my freestyling as a tool to get my singing career launched a little bit easier.
I come from a Brazilian background, so my mother had always had, you know, Latin music in the house, samba, salsa, merengue.
Growing up in Santa Monica, a good part of my influence was classic rock, like Led Zeppelin and, Ted Nugent and everything, because I was a skater.
Grew up playing trumpet in grammar school and high school, marching band, jazz band.
I was in Iran when I was growing up until I was 15. It was basically on what got through the Iron Curtain, Eurythmic, a soundtrack to Flashdance, Boney M, Bee Gees, they were the stuff that I could get my hands on.
Like Madness and Squeeze and things like that in the 80s. And then, I got into like Pink Floyd when I was at school. And then house music came along when I was about 15 and completely changed everything.
I started collecting records when I was in the 6th grade. My mom was cool enough to buy records for me instead of buying bullshit toys.
Yeah, still living with my parents when I started DJing, which was fortunate because I could just spend all my money on records.
when I was about 11, there was this record shop down the street from our house, and I found out when they got their shipments in. And I'd be there front and center every Friday night. Now, I mean, I'm 11 years old.
I had to travel down to London to this old record shop called Groove Records, where this old woman who was 70 years old used to sell Chicago House on Trance Records, which were repressed K-Tel LPs. And that was a 250-mile trip for me, which I used to make every month. And I used to go and spend every single cent or penny that I had on these records.
I came across a record store that had everything, so basically that record store became my home, my second home. And I was there all the time, you know. I would like basically not eat, not buy anything for myself, save money to go to the record store to buy the records.
I spend a lot of time still record shopping in stores. I live in Los Angeles, and when I'm home, I'm just a few blocks away from Melrose Avenue, so I can just go up there and there's like 5 record stores. You can just hit them all in one afternoon.
DJs were almost like hermits. I mean, basically, they lived their entire life searching out obscure promotional 12 inches that no one, even the label that put them out, knew.
In college, I'd always worked in retail on the side of all my other jobs because I was a vinyl junkie. And there wasn't a very good store or way to get records in Philadelphia, so I opened the store. And people were in there like junkies, too. It's great. Like, everybody's a junkie, you know? They want the new thing. They want the new record for their box. You know, they want to get what's really hot. And they wanted the secret weapon. You know, the secret weapons are the biggest ones.
It's like to find a record, just that one record, that's the shit, just the one record, you know. It's so hard. I got to go through hundreds of records just to find one, you know. And it's like, I don't play 7s and 8s, you know. Barely 9s get played, but it's got to be a 10.
I think of my record box like the all-star soccer team. And it's like they're coming to tryouts every week. And if a track doesn't get the same response that I thought it would get, then that's it, it's off the team, sorry. And because there's a lot of other records that, you know, are waiting to play.
You're nothing without your box, so it's very important. Your box is character, you got stickers all over, it's beaten up. Mine looks like it's been run over. Like, they basically, every now and then, they run over mine with the airplane. But I still use the same case, because I'm addicted to it. I love it, that's my box.
My favorite genre of music, progressive house, tribal house.
Trance, techno, house. I do like a little bit of everything, but I have to say I really dig electro.
Soulful gospel house, trance, the funky breaks, new progressive breaks, deep house and vocals.
I'm more of a house head, so I love the whole San Francisco house scene.
House music, tribal house, deep house.
Hard techno, you got, you know, sexy house, which is my love as a DJ. You got down-tempo.
It's gotta be soulful, it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be funky, it's gotta be groovy.
A house draws in itself from so many roots. Some will come from like Latin music, some will come from rock and some will come from hip hop, funk, jazz, everything. And all of that music is in house music. So it doesn't matter like really where you come from. There'll be something that will get you in house.
Early forms of house were very kind of influenced by gospel, and it's basically modern disco. And it's really morphed into a totally multi-headed, faceted animal right now that encompasses a lot of different musical styles. But the basis is always going to be 4 on the floor drums, funk, soul, and disco.
Deep house tends to be a little more subdued, soulful, musical, and vocal. It has a vibe to it, like a warm sort of sensualness to it.
Progressive house is the most beautiful kind of house music in its rawest form. It's minimal and it's got space and it's melodic.
harder than house. It's a lot darker, a lot deeper. There's a lot of bass to it, a lot of bass. And it's not so happy. It's more chunky, thick and chunky.
Techno sound as compared to a house sound is a little bit harder, a little bit newer. It's a little bit more original. The reason they call techno is techno technology. It's experimentation with technology.
I guess probably the best definition of trance is that it's music, electronic music, with repetitive, reoccurring themes in it, and with the absence of lyrics or vocals. In trance, it's about the music creating a feeling or emotion over the course of the development of the track. Like I said, in the same way that classical music works, trance tells you what to do without directly telling you.
In the early 80s, hip-hop rappers were all into house music. There was a period of hip house, which is like hip-hop merged with house.
They kind of took what they knew from hip-hop, which was rapping, and then they put it over faster beats. I mean, the Jungle Brothers' Girl, I'll House You, you know, in 89 or whatever, 88, that was hip house, you know.
Jungle was some of the earlier music, the raga-influenced music, and that drum and bass was more of the techno and sci-fi influences.
Jungle was a newfound thing at one point, and people were calling it jungle techno, and then drum and bass, and now both, you know, jungle or drum and bass.
Drum and bass is the, I would like to say, the punk rock of house music.
For the untrained listener, it would probably sound like hip-hop twice as fast, with a lot more frantic sounding, a lot more intense.
Hip-hop. Whether you're doing commercial R&B or whether you're doing underground independent hip-hop, it was still hip-hop. We don't have that same singular vision. We have trip-hop, downbeat, drum and bass, techno, trance, two-step, speed garage.
Too many labels, too many styles, too many people putting product on the market and not enough people to buy it.
People like to tribe up, and they like to have their enclaves, and that's fair too. And if people want to, if you want to be into, you know, cyber hippie, you know, funk weasel music, then make your own thing. That's fine. Put out your little mixtape and say that's what it is.
They're crossing so many different genres of music and barriers. Like on the album, like, you know, you could have U2, or you can have Nelly Furtado, or you could have like me.
That's the cool thing about electronic music. It's a real sort of train spotter music.
My style is no style, I guess. My style is a gumbo of music. Just different types of stuff just thrown in the pot, and I just throw it at you and hope that it sticks.
I definitely don't hold myself down to one genre. I just play what I like.
My genre is good music. There's two kinds of music. There's music that moves me and music that doesn't.
I play house, disco, filtered, tribal, minimal, techno, trance, progressive. And for me, it's all about the journey and how I'm going to go on that journey, how I'm going to take the crowd.
Whether it's faster, slower, harder, so whatever, it comes from the same place, and you can identify with it if you're exposed to it.
most exciting place I ever played was in Los Angeles at the Coliseum for New Year's on 2001. There was 45,000 people in the bowl. And I went on right after midnight, right after the fireworks. And it's nothing quite like looking out and seeing that many people.
Berlin, I was playing for over 30,000 people in Love Parade in the night in a party called Galactica.
I just did a Roosevelt one that was a hotel, and I had about 4,700 people. I rented the whole hotel, 350 rooms sold out, and just killed it.
We promote and produce some of the largest dance events in the United States, technically North America, up to 35,000 people.
Played at Woodstock for 60,000 people. I played, I banged it.
When you're setting up an event for even 1,000 people, it's stressful. There's so many different things to take care of and so many different egos.
My staff is based on maybe 250 guys I'm working with, and that includes security, that includes sound setting, that includes props, that includes door staff, promoters, bus drivers, dancers, roller skate girls.
We'll spend $20,000 or $30,000 just on plans for the night to rent and create a tropical theme.
Promoting entails a lot. It entails finding a venue, hiring the DJs, coming up with flyers, and actually trying to bring in people off the street to come experience this.
To actually make your show happen, you have to promote the right way. So you have to be on top of your promoters, which, we have 50 promoters working for us at all times.
Promotion has so much to do with it. You can have the biggest DJ in the world, and if they don't promote it, people might not show up.
It's just huge. It just sounds like it's that easy to just go in, pay out $20 and go inside the party. It really isn't like that at all.
Write it down. Order your food right here.
Come back in this door. What the hell is that?
They can't go in and out. We're on a Saturday and tomorrow will be the last day. But this event's been off the hook. I have no complaint. We're putting about 5,000 people already. Not this. What do you mean? That one. This one. Tuesday I did the San Diego guys, Hippie and Halo. You know what it is? All the Lake Show has been canceled. Wednesday was huge. It was like 1,500 people. The mids are weak. What? The mids are weak. I got it. Then Thursdays we did the San Francisco. Very sexy jazz, jazzy house, 800 people. Friday was the New York guys, and these guys are out of control. This place was just going off. It was so busy, 2,000 people.
People in the house, give it up for the Moonshine recording artist, DJ Mia! Now, our own DJ Danny B!
The best venues tend to be something that's unique to you as a DJ. I love playing in clubs, but there's nothing like, say, playing like on a beach somewhere, like as the sun's going down.
I've played the 50, 60,000 people raves. The smaller things are really cool too because there could be just as much energy with 50 people as 60,000.
When I play something like this, like a pool party, it's generally going to be a lot more subdued, a lot more musical, a lot more of a listening type thing and less of a dancing thing.
Venue is subjective. You can have a real dirty, dark room with 200 people in and a wicked sound system, and it's going off, and everyone has a great time. It all depends on the music.
For trance and progressive house, that sort of sound is it's a big room sound. You need a lot of people to make that sound work. House music, low ceilings, dark, candlelit. That's what that music is. It's when you really feel it. Close your eyes, you can feel house music. Down-tempo music is more bars, restaurants, non-dancing, very, ambient style establishment.
It really doesn't matter what size the club is. It could be a really small one or a large one. I think it just depends mostly on the vibe of the people coming and the sound system. The sound system is really important.
I'm an anal dick about sound. I have to have a good sound system. And it's not difficult to explain that to anyone anymore.
Oh, sound is everything. If you don't have the right monitors, you're not going to be able to blend right unless you're God.
Some of the things that you spend hours and hours in the studio perfecting because you want the sound just right get completely lost in the system. So, I mean, for me, it's important to do a sound check, try to get the sound as warm and as comfortable as possible. I want to hear everything. I want to hear the full frequency of the record.
Sometimes you play in a booth that's way up in the sky. Sometimes I'll run down onto the floor, check on the sound, make sure there's a level of it that I like their feeling.
For me, the perfect venue is a place where the DJ booth is comfortable, whereas it's not too far from the crowd, but gives you enough visibility so you can see everyone.
There's a proper mixer, there's proper decks, the needles are perfect, that monitors are properly placed, everything's placed right. As a musician walks onto a stage, if his guitar strings aren't set, if his monitors aren't set, if his equipment isn't set, he's gonna have a bad show. Same thing with the DJ.
Still, at this day and age, you'd be surprised that, people can't set up turntables right. You'd think, with Space Shuttle going up and rocket science, you could still set up a deck, but no.
In the club, it's not just 2 turntables and a mixer. Now you've got 2 turntables, a mixer, 2 CD players. A lot of times there's effects units in the DJ booth, so that you've got a lot more at your disposal.
Final Scratch, which just came out, is now starting to take off, which is, you basically bring most of your music selection or collection on a laptop, and then you can actually play MP3s or audio files off your computer.
I look back in the early days where, God, we were carrying 7, 8, 9 crates of records and stuff. You had to have 4 or 5 people with you. Now I can pack up my computer on my shoulder and bring my couple records and I go wherever.
The pioneer of the CDJ 1000 is phenomenal. And it's great for me to be able to finish a mix or a record in the studio and take it with me that night wherever I'm going on CD and play it and check it out and see what it sounds like in a club. The CDJ 1000, it allows you to play CDs like vinyl. You can scratch, you can even scratch easier than a record. You don't have to worry about the needle jumping off. Every song will tell you how much time is left, which is a nice thing. Looking at the record, you can't really tell if it's 3 minutes, 8 minutes. Now you know, oh, there's 7 minutes and 1 second left in the song, I got that much time to work with. But what's really important is that in all that time, in the probably the, 15, 18 years I've been a club DJ, Technics SL1200s haven't changed. Still now, they're the stalwart of the DJ turntable.
You really have to have a combination of the venue, the sound, and the DJ booth. And then the fourth ingredient is the DJ. The DJ has to come in and he has to bring it all to life.
Hairspray, someone. Never. Thank you. Oh shit, it's empty. The first song that Josh and I are putting out. I'm gonna play it tonight. It is so good. He is such an amazing producer. I need shoes. I don't know, this is an awful lot to wear. Where are my shoes? Oh, you want to see my bed? Because these two snore so loud and it's so loud outside every morning. I sleep in the closet. Oh my God, I need to go, don't I? My jewelry. I need my ring. I can't play without my lucky ring. You got my records? You got everything?
I got everything.
Wait a minute, where's the tour bus? Thanks for coming. Thank you. We might be the only ones there because it's so early, but I guess we'll see. No, it was fun. We'll be our own party, man. Entourage, entourage. Okay. What do you think of my Barbie doll outfit? I'm enjoying it. Yeah? I was a little nervous.
From a very young age, I always wanted to be that mad scientist in the pop culture laboratory, to be that guy affecting popular culture.
It's a bit of a power trip. It's just kind of cool because what you're doing, you know, when you're tweaking EQs or playing records, you're creating an environment and you're affecting it and changing it directly.
It's like being at some kind of sporting event where you're like so focused on what you're doing and you're really living in the moment.
There'll be moments where I suddenly realize that I'm in the middle of a set, but I've been focused on the music, so much so that I'm not even aware of what's happening out there. I suddenly realize that I'm in a club, and I look out and everybody's going off to the music, and I get the chills. That's the magic moment when, for me anyway, when I lose myself and I'm just kind of a vehicle, a part of what's happening.
Once I'm in the booth, it's smooth sailing. You know, I'm just having a fun like everybody else in the dance floor. I'm dancing, but I'm in control of the party. But, you know, it's like being in a car with a bunch of people having a great time, but I'm driving.
I like to set the tone from the beginning of the night and then kind of build it up gradually and then have peaks and valleys. I really like to be able to kind of start it off and gently bring people into the floor because it means they'll stay there longer.
We like to play long sets, so we typically ask the promoters if they have any opening DJs to not really bother with that, you know. We like to give them their money's worth.
I don't think of in what order I'm gonna play records. It's like an artist saying, I'm gonna use yellow and then I'm gonna use green. You can sort of vibe it out and say, I wanna use blue right here.
Sometimes I'll be sitting there spinning and people will be dancing, getting into it or whatever, and I'll be thinking to myself, like, how did I get up here? You know, what am I doing up here? This is so bizarre. These people already knew that I'm sitting up here. I have no idea what the next record I'm gonna play is. They probably look at me and they think like, you know, I'm totally like commanding the sound system and like, you know, I'm doing this and that, but I'm sitting up here going, geez, you know, I totally reflected on what's going on and it just seemed very surreal.
Say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and have a great time. The people will feel it straight away when you're doing the right thing.
favorite DJs definitely when I go out or listening to CDs would be Deep Dish, Terry Chandler, Little Louis Vega, David Morales.
Marcus Wyatt, of course, from LA. Sunday nights at Deep are just incredible. Johnny Knight.
Tommy Sunshine, Carl Cox, Paul Van Dyke.
There's Emmett Murillo, there's Ahmed Van Helden.
Julius Pat, Mark Farina.
Felix the House Cat. Louis DeVito, kind of like New York style.
DJ Crush. DJ Spooky.
Pierre Rauhofer. Tenegli is not bad. Deep Dish, Sidon Collage. I'm all about DJ Dan, too.
I'm here to see actually Underworld, which is not a DJ, but it's my kind of favorite electronic musician right now.
Satoshi Tomi, John Digweed, Steve Lawler.
Everyone's been great, to be honest. There's been so many, I can't even remember who we've seen. We've seen so many.
It's a symbiotic relationship between the DJ and the crowd.
It's the whole thing about waiting till Friday, you're done with your week of work, and it's the weekend, and that's what DJs are there for.
People like dancing, and just as much as I love listening to hip-hop all day or rock and roll, it's like there's some amazing, electronic songs that just make you want to move.
It's their release, it's their escape. They transcend, it's a form of meditation, it's a workout.
It's much more of a, participant sport. When you're out there dancing, the lights are on you. They're not necessarily on the DJ. The lights are on you on the floor. And I think that makes it different. It makes it exciting for people.
One of the reasons people go to clubs is to meet people. Be it straight, be it gay, whatever it is, you go to a club 9 times out of 10 to be part of something and to meet people. Sensuality and sexuality is incredibly important because you have sounds that bring people together.
The person I really keep in mind on the dance floor are the chicks. And I always try to put a sort of a sexy bass line or kind of like sexy syncopation in the percussion because I want the girls to feel it. If they're out there, the guys will be there and everything's good at that point.
I think what's always meant a lot to me was just seeing people set their spirits free. A majority of my gigs are in sort of more intimate settings, so that lends itself to people being more intimate with each other.
A DJ's job is to create an environment where people come together, because music is a universal language, and that's why sensuality is so important. It allows people to communicate in the most basic form possible, Sex is the ultimate communicator.
The thing that really intrigued me about electronic music is that, it was multicultural.
It's mixed. You have gays, straights, blacks, whites. You've got. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about house music. It's almost like a new Grateful Dead following. These are true people that are into music. It's all about the music. It's not about who you are.
It's one thing that everyone loves to do is dance. People want to be able to express themselves. And when you get them on the dance floor, it doesn't matter what religion they are, what race they are, if they don't speak the same languages. The sound on the floor brings them together in a way probably almost no other musical format does.
It's just a connection with the people dancing, because if they're into it, then I'm into it. I think you need both sides for it to really be fun.
It's about just letting people feel it on their own and not trying to push them a certain direction, just like pulling them there gently as it goes.
I'm really into crowd participation, and if I can get them riled up by showing them that I'm excited about what I'm doing and happy about being able to get the opportunity to play music for them, then hopefully they respond to it.
The crowd definitely drives me. Definitely, there's no question. I play way better when there's amazing crowd. If there's tons of people going off and they're ready for me, I play a great set.
It's like a sixth sense almost. It's like you talk to them and with this this language that you understand and they understand. And you know what they want, and you know at what point they're sick of that one particular style and they need something different.
You have to be able to understand when this crowd is getting restless or wants to move on to something else or is looking for something different. And the worst feeling in the world is to know that I'm losing the crowd. That's the worst feeling.
We feed off their love, we feed off their energy, we feed off the interaction that we have, and that eggs us on to play one style or, like he said, to change styles or to take things to another level, or not.
There's nothing more exciting than playing a record, or even especially your own record, that gets a great crowd response and people go crazy about it and stuff like that's amazing. It's really fun. But I love it. Anyway, of course I love it. Hello. I love my job. We got a good job.
I started DJing when I was 11 years old. The first gig, our stuff actually overheated and blew up, but everyone thought we had a smoke machine. We were really cool.
Playing my sister's birthday party from 9, 10 years old.
I started playing, I was 14 at Limelight at Club USA. I had a residency in a Terry Mogliere room, so I was pretty young to see most of it.
I was dating a DJ. When we broke up, out of revenge, I bought turntables and learned how to spin.
When I first started DJing, I was on Technique's SL1500s, which are digitally pitch-controlled turntables, and that's how I learned to mix on the radio 3 hours a night every Thursday on WRUR, Rochester, Ra-cha-cha. And I sucked.
I played in bands for 10 years as a drummer, lead singer, with industrial movement, 80s. Then went clubbing one night, and it just, changed my life. That's what I wanted to do. I picked up a pair of turntables and really realized how much of an instrument it really is.
In 1990, and I was at a Wicked party in San Francisco, and I decided that at that point I would get turntables, and I started making my own little mixtapes. And people liked them.
Sometimes in order to get gigs, I would, if I saw posted online an upcoming lineup for a party where it'd say more DJs to be announced, I would call an info line and be like, hi, my name's Diesel Boy, will you book me for your show? I'll come play for free.
There's times when I've driven, back in England, I've driven like 300 miles and not got paid and I got stiffed on the thing. DJs were always treated as like the kind of, it's just a DJ. It's like, it's no one. He's like the bar back.
First, in Chicago, like the Bears beginnings, it was like one DJ gets all night. You play 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. and like you try out for that night. So basically you're bringing like 4 crates to a gig, as much as you can fit in your trunk.
I mean, I played some clubs where like the DJ booth was like, you open the door, it's in a closet, okay? And I'm like sitting half in and half out, of this place. It just wasn't a big deal.
It's a lot easier now that we have agents and road managers taking care of things. You don't have to so much worry about your money anymore. You don't have to worry about the hotels and being picked up at the airport.
I don't tend to have any arguments about ever getting paid anymore. That's kind of nice. No one kind of questions what I play anymore, which is even nicer.
I remember Christopher Lawrence playing in an empty roller rink with blue hair for $300. Now he's getting a lot of money to play records, and he's grown into, I don't know if you want to say rock star. I mean, rock star to me is a different kind of thing, but they're very idol. They're definitely looked up to.
And it used to be like a small little community. Now it's like this huge worldwide phenomenon that everybody, your little 12-year-old brother, is into.
It's become so much more of a competitive market. It's how does the DJ get marketed if they don't make music, if they're not a remixer or a producer?
I began producing music just as a way of creating the record that I never really had in my box.
What's really nice about technology is that so many people that didn't have opportunities before to make music and express themselves can now do that.
I can, in a short amount of time, record the track into Pro Tools on my laptop, then edit the bits that I don't like, recreate the track the way I would want it to be, burn it onto a CD, and go out and play it that night.
That's an amazing facility that you can actually go from being a producer within 5 hours and go to somewhere else and be a DJ and check that out in every single way, shape or form.
10 years ago, the synthesizers were the size of a house. You had to like plug everything, route it all in, and now you can buy a laptop that big, and you can make an album on it.
I don't know music in theory, but I can sit down in front of my Mac and make a track in 2 hours.
Before, there was a lot of outboard gear that was being used, maybe a computer as a sequencer and like a sampler and like a mixer and whatnot, but nowadays with a lot of the software that's not like Logic Audio or Cubase, it's like a lot of people are able to have entirely fat studios all on like their computer at home in their bedroom.
I think it's the democratization
of technology that enables some guy sitting in his underwear in Cleveland to write a track that then becomes a hit overseas and then gets licensed on compilations.
In the early days of disco, you needed an entire band, you needed a drummer, you needed a violin player, your horns and everything. You have all that in a computer and in a box and in a sampler and in a synthesizer.
Nowadays, you know, you can sit there and go, right, that was a brilliant vocal take, that was a great guitar take, but now I'm going to like reverse that bit, I'm going to filter this bit and chop that bit up and do this and do that.
You know, I literally walked in studios and seen people on a computer screen just was putting a note here, a note there.
You know, anybody can make music. We've gotten to an age and time where if it sounds good to the ear, it is good, and people will like it. So you don't need to have 12 years of composition and notation to be behind you.
Sadly, a lot of people have gotten very caught up in all these technological innovations that they end up focusing on that more than the music itself, and I think that is a bit of a potential pitfall.
It's so easy to make dance music nowadays that a lot of people think they can, and they actually can, but it doesn't mean it's a good thing for them to do. Like, you end up listening to it, it's not horrible, it's not great, it's just there.
The envelope is being pushed exponentially, and it forces those of us at the cusp, the cutting edge, to keep trying to jump over it. So there's a tremendous amount of responsibility that comes with having such amazing tools, and I think my heroes, Stravinsky, Penderecki, Debussy, if these guys had these things, what they could do with it, you know?
A downside, though, of technology now is that everyone is not supporting music and they're just downloading it and burning it on CDs for free. And as much as people don't want to spend $20 on a CD, they don't realize that it's really hurting the music industry. So technology, of course, is good and bad.
I know that when I have a compilation that comes out, I know that it's downloaded and stuff, but it's like a catch-22. I think a lot of people that normally wouldn't have bought it have now, they know who I am now because they got it for free.
A lot of people, oh, I love your CD, your new CD. Oh, cool, where'd you get it? I'm always curious. Did you get it in a chain? Did you get it online? Oh, my friend burned it for me. Yeah! Can I have your autograph? No! Fuck you, I'll autograph the purchased CD, bitch! But, you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight a losing battle with that, you know? So you kind of, you know, you have to grasp technology, not fight it.
We've sort of seeing the process of natural selection, the survival of the fittest. The guys who are the hardest working and the most serious and the best organized are the ones who are the most successful these days.
Probably the biggest project is The Matrix. I'm doing all 3 films.
I've scored 6 films now, but I come from classical music, and I started studying piano Suzuki method when I was 4, so I'm kind of the weirdo here, if you know what I mean. So the film thing is actually really natural to me because I enjoy conducting an orchestra and writing for violin, violoncello, and contrabass and stuff.
The trick with supervision for film is that it's not just all about my interests or my agenda. You really have to defer to what's best for the picture or any given scene.
Most directors are artists, you know, and they generally are kind of up on music and things like that, so they want their, you know, especially if it's a modern or a futuristic film, they want their soundtrack to reflect that. So I think that's why they call on people like us a lot now, for either to use songs or to score.
Electronic music is in its infancy stages in this country, similar to where hip-hop was in the early 80s. And I think that finally it's starting to be recognized as a vying force in contemporary music in this country. Outside of this country, it's pop music. It sells millions of albums worldwide.
At this point, it's part of the mainstream. The biggest rock bands in the world, the biggest artists from Madonna to U2, everybody has embraced electronic and dance music.
Moby's, Chemical Brothers, Fatboy Slim, they came kind of from the source, and they're making very, very, very good music.
We went to Kansas City, and there was like 1,200 people outside, you know, they're going, I don't know what you guys call it, but we know the song from the commercial, and that music you just played in there tonight, we love it, and that's house music.
Madonna's last 2 albums, were dance music albums. That's where she came from. She's probably the biggest female artist there is. And those are her roots.
You know, we're here at like the Dance Star Awards, and you got Diddy, you know, he's now made a house album, and the track was fantastic, you know.
I know that Pete Diddy's got a track he's worked on with Darren Emerson. I say thank God, and I appreciate that if that gets one 16-year-old kid into this, who then as they learn about it, they go back to the Darren Emerson, then fucking great.
I don't see anything wrong with the stuff being on MTV or being in a Ford commercial.
We have advertisers like Adidas and Diesel, and like the corporate interest is now there. And we have Coca-Cola. I mean, if you had told me 6 years ago that I have Coca-Cola advertising in my book, I would have looked at you like you were insane.
As long as you don't cross that threshold into where you're compromising the core values that you have in order to continue to get more advertising, then I think you're fine.
You know, if that's how it gets to the mainstream, if that's what it takes, then I don't mind. It's almost a sad commentary on the state of radio, really, that it takes advertising to break records. But nevertheless, we'll take it.
Right now, there is not enough radio airplay of electronic music.
In the UK, they may have had more of an opportunity to make it up through the ranks because they have Radio 1.
It's only in North America, but it still doesn't have radio support, still doesn't have MTV support, even though MTV supports it in South America and Europe and Asia.
Radio is essential. It's the most popular way that people find out about new music. I'm hopeful that things like satellite radio, the internet, digital radio, these types of innovations will bring dance music more to the foreground.
Before we got the commercial with Mitsubishi, there would we'd never got an American radio.
Then we come out to New York, I think. First time we went to New York, and we in the limousine, go to the hotel. It's on the radio station. Every radio station was playing our records. Yeah. We're like, oh my God, I think this is actually going to be quite a big record now.
Being on the radio is just great. I get to turn people on to music who wouldn't go to a club.
When I got things started on KCRW in the Los Angeles area, public radio was known mainly for jazz and classical. And so a dance music show was completely out of the question.
Groove Radio was a good one. I used to do that once a month. Every time I was in LA, do Groove Radio. It was great. I even had this crazy stalker girl from Dallas. She's pretty hot though. It sent me naked pictures. Why? Because I was on Groove Radio. I was like, yay!
It's kind of an interesting conundrum, and that the music kind of can start here, and it's not really well revered or respected in America, as it is everywhere else in the world.
It needs to be a process, and America has to embrace it on our own terms. Ironically, it did get its start here, you know, Chicago and Detroit and all that, but sometimes it has to take the long way around the park to come back.
There's still a very strong underground scene in America, and the more I travel across America, the more I see that it's actually growing.
For the last 7 or 8 years, kids want to go out and get 2 turntables and a mixer and become a superstar DJ.
It's all about time, patience. Passion is one of the biggest success of the human being. So I think by the time dance music will explode, will be much more mainstream and popular in the US that people expect.
There's always going to be part of this music and this culture that will never, ever become mainstream. It's too underground.
If it really was all about commercial success and the sales, we would not be doing electronic music. There's a lot easier ways to make money in the music business.
I've played in places like London, Ibiza, Barcelona, Tokyo, Germany. I played in Berlin, Amsterdam. I've played in Antwerp. I mean, it's amazing to me how many people and how many places all over the world actually understand what it is that we're doing and what it is that, you know, dance music is really about.
The places like Colombia, Russia, Czech Republic, each crowd is unique. The body language, the freedom of expression, the raw energy.
I think that's probably the most exciting thing, is to get on a plane, fly 9.5 hours to another country, and then you go into a club and it's completely full of people that you've never met before, you don't speak the language, and yet everybody responds the same way to the music.
People go to a club and they don't realize that
The DJs, they have to travel every weekend, you know, they have a really hard schedule.
I played in Reykjavik in Iceland last Friday, and I flew from Philadelphia to Boston, and then Boston to Reykjavik, and I played from 2:30 in the morning till 6 in the morning. I left Reykjavik at 6:30 in the morning, finally get to London in my hotel, it was 1:15. I wanted to sleep, but then I had to do a Radio 1 interview. Saturday night at Fabric in London, from 4 in the morning till 7:30 in the morning. Didn't get to sleep till around 9 in the morning in London. And then it was St. Patty's Day, so I had a gig in Cork, Ireland. Got into Ireland, had to go to the club, do sound check, played 12 till 4, I think. And then next thing I know, I have an 8 o'clock flight from Cork, Ireland to Manchester to connect from Manchester to Philadelphia. And then I got home to Philadelphia, and then the next day I'm leaving here to come to Miami.
It's neat when you go to like Louisville, Kentucky, or Mykonos, Greece, you know, or wherever, you know, Monterrey, Mexico, and the people are like, yeah, I'm a big fan, man, and you know, they don't even speak your language.
If I'm going to Mexico City, I'll kind of maybe, you know, incorporate kind of a Hispanic element in my sets. I'll throw in weird, maybe historic things about that region, like spoken word bits to try and confuse people.
There is a Swiss market is very big club scene. Zurich just got voted as a whatever city with the best lifestyle. We have an incredible big club scene.
Everybody looks to London as a focal point, hence, you know, Mix Mag or Music Magazine or Radio 1 with, you know, Pete Tong.
In England, there's just such a forward music culture in Europe in terms of commercialism and how fast they go through DJs and things. You really got to stay on your P's and Q's.
In the UK now, there are some phenomenal clubs. Fabric is phenomenal. It's very progressive house mainly. You know, Pasha's phenomenal. The Cross has always been phenomenal. These are all London clubs.
I was in Russia lately, and everybody's opening clubs here and there. You walk in a club and it's like, wow, it's impressive.
I'm from England. I lived here for 5 years. The American scene has always been about a love of music, and I think that a lot of other scenes went away from that.
Ibiza's got to be one of the most magical places in the world because it is a clubbing paradise.
Fun, beautiful woman, a beautiful smile on the faces of everybody.
You have everyone from hippies to hardcore techno heads to, you know, lots of English, lots of Spanish. Sexy people go to that island. It's just an amazing place to be. It really has become the new place to party in the millennium.
Doesn't matter where you live, Turkey, whatever. You listen to the same music, you look at each other, you smile and have a good time.
Over the years, DJs became front and center. In other words, they became the new artists themselves. The translation from playing a record to making a record has evolved into the whole superstar DJ status. And I think that has given a bit of mystique and a bit of glamour to the DJ lifestyle.
They're in the spotlight, they're the man, you know, it's like if you're a rock star, they want you. DJs are the same now.
In England, they've become rock stars. You know, names like Just Jules, Sasha, Paul Oakenfold.
You know, we've been compared to the new rock stars of the new millennium. And I think, you know, when you're DJing, people look at you in a certain way and they'll gravitate towards you.
What really struck me is that for the first time is when somebody wanted my autograph. Just the guy playing the records. But now people want your autograph. And now there'll be like lots of people around that turntables at the end of the night. And it's created a situation where it's more like when people go see a band.
some guy asked me for an autograph. It just seems so absurd to me that someone will want my signature. But now I've gotten used to like signing autographs. It's like, it's strange. I do have sometimes, occasionally girls will approach me at a party.
I try to engage a little conversation with every person I meet, whether they're 17 or, 25 and hot, and blonde and busty.
The fame and the attention, the autographs, it's all cool. But what I love is that there's that many people listening to what I'm doing, and that's why I'm doing it.
When I look at like up and coming DJs, the young ones now, and they got like the superstar DJ mentality. It's all I'm God, and, they got entourages, this and that. And I look at them like, dude, you don't understand, man. I used to play in a closet for like $25 for a whole night.
The successful artists are the ones who are the most driven and the most organized, as well as the most talented, but you've really got to have your shit together these days. This is not a 9-to-5 job. It's a lifestyle.
Sooner or later, this music has to be embraced because it's so powerful.
I think a lot of people thought electronic music was just a phase, and we all know now that it's here to stay and we're proud of it.
It's constantly evolving. It'll never be boring. As soon as it gets boring, I guess I'll be an old man and go drink my scotch on the beach somewhere. But right now, it's fantastic.
Right now, I cannot say enough that it's heaven on earth. It's absolutely heaven on earth. To be able to create and perform music, which is the love of my life, to be able to get paid for it and to go place. They fly you somewhere to stay at a nice hotel to play music for somebody. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that.
Are we rolling? Yep. My name's Charles Feelgood. I DJ, I tour constantly. I've been touring for about 10 years. I produce, I have a studio in Los Angeles that I do singles out of, and that's pretty much what I spend most of my time doing.
My name is Brett Ballou. I own my own company, B3 Productions, with two other partners named Brian Alper and Brock Anderson. We promote and produce some of the largest dance events in the United States, technically North America, up to 35,000 people.
My name is Christopher Lawrence, and I produce electronic dance music, and I'm an international DJ.
My name is Danny B, and I'm actually a promoter / DJ. I have one of the largest shows on the West Coast. One of them is Naked, and the other one's High Society.
I'm Sharam, and I'm a producer, DJ, record label owner, remixer. Was that what you wanted? Ditto.
Defuse, I'm a live musician, DJ, remixer, producer.
My name is Donald Glad. I've been DJing for a long time. Just really started getting into producing a couple years ago. Started up Respect Recordings. I'm starting up Eating Recordings. Record on Moonshine for mixed CDs. And I like to have fun.
My name is David Carter Ireland, my full name. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of BPM Magazine and DJMix.com.
Hello, my name is Mea, and that's M-E-A. I am a singer, vocalist / DJ.
Hi, I'm Dave Ralph. I currently live in Boston. I've been a resident in the United States for the last 5 years. I'm originally from Liverpool in England. I'm a DJ, so some say. I make music too. And I also own a record label which we just started called R Factor Records.
My name is Damien Higgins. My DJ name is Diesel Boy. I'm a DJ, producer. I own a label. I'm a promoter for a drum and bass weekly in Philadelphia. And I'm a human being.
Hey, my name's Ben Harris. Guitar player and producer in the studio.
I'm Paul from Day Vegas. I play keyboards, controllers of the brains, samplers, hard drive, stuff like that. And on my left is Steve, the singer.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Steve from the band Dirty Vegas. I sing, I play guitar, and I don't know, I'm the dad of the band.
My name is Eric Silver, and I'm the co-president and head of A&R for System Recordings. Some of the artists we work with are Diesel Boy, Charles Feelgood, Defuse, Nigel Richards, Joshua Ryan, Dave Ralph, DJ Icy, Josh Wink, Max Graham, folks like that.
Well, my name is Francois K, and I guess you're probably talking to me mostly as a DJ, but I'm also a producer, remixer, label owner, record label owner. I'm a moonlighting music publisher also, and a few other things besides that, which make me wear so many hats that I decided to wear none today.
My name is Jason Bentley. I'm a DJ, first and foremost. I'm also music supervisor, record industry executive, producer. That's about it.
What's up? I'm Junior Sanchez, DJ, producer, remixer, writer, composer, whatever.
Hey, I'm Jesse Saunders. I am known as the originator of house music, so they say. I don't know what that actually entails, but that just means I've been around a long time. But I still look young. Anyway,
I'm Josh Wink, and I'm an artist, and a DJ artist, a record label runner, and publisher of music, producer, engineer, nice guy.
I'm Liquid Todd from New York City, and I'm a professional troublemaker, instigator.
How you doing? My name is Mark Farina. I'm DJ slash producer slash traveling minstrel.
Marcus White, DJ from Los Angeles, also producer.
Hi, I'm Nigel Richards, and I'm a jack of all trades. Well, I guess we all are, but I am a record store owner, a DJ, a producer, a label owner, A&R guy, and a maniac.
My name is Paul Parenti, and I am a promoter in San Diego. My company name is Polly Presents.
My name is Raymond Roker. I'm the publisher, founder, creative director of Herb Magazine.
My name is Rudy. I'm from Zurich, Switzerland, and run a booking agency, mainly house DJs.
My name is Roger Sanchez. I am a producer, DJ, remixer, probably a whole lot of other hyphens go with there. Radio personality. I make, play, and love house music.
Hi, I'm DJ Mark Lewis here at the 18th Winter Music Conference in Miami, and originally from London, lived out in Los Angeles now for 16 years. Universal agenda, spreading a message of love through the music, creating unification through dance music.